doing great. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Julie, and on this channel we talk about books, literature, development, and a sprinkle of other things here and there. So as you've already seen in the title below, today we are talking about a bookshelf declutter. So that's books that I'm giving away and why I'm giving them away. So I'll start by giving a disclaimer. I'm not a hoarder. I don't hoard things whatsoever. I don't like hoarding things. So it came to my realization that when it concerns my books, I do tend to hold on to books that I probably will not read again, and even books that I really don't have any interest in. And after having a small meeting with myself, I was just like, no, enough is enough. I want to have quality books on my bookshelf. I know as bookworms, we have this thing where we all dream of building a library, so we just collect books regardless of what they are, and I don't want it to be the case. I actually want books on my bookshelf that I like, that I will probably read again or something of that sort. Just before I continue, maybe I should warn you, there's a lot happening in this area, so you might hear some background noise. Please bear with me. We're working on getting microphones, but yeah, I'll try to be as clear as possible. We will start with classics. At some point in 2020, I challenged myself and I was like, I'm going to do a whole month where I'm reading classics. Guys, it was an epic failure. The 3 classics I got at that time were this. This is The Great Gatsby, Pride and Prejudice, and Wuthering Heights. I got them thrifted. There's someone who was selling them very cheaply, so I got these 3. The Great Gatsby was honestly not bad. It was an okay read, but to be honest, I prefer the movie, so I don't see myself ever reading this book again. Pride and Prejudice was also an okay read for me, but again, I do prefer the movie to this book. Wuthering Heights, to be honest, I didn't get past chapter 3. It's just not my cup of tea. So the writing in all these 3 books is that, can I call it Old English? So it's not even like necessarily very easy to read, but for Wuthering Heights, I just felt like it was even harder to read. I also just didn't like the story. So these 3 have already found a new home, and I hope they'll be happier there than with me. The next book I'm decluttering is J.K. Rowling's Casual Vacancy. So I read a lot of Harry Potter growing up. I loved the books, I loved the movies. So when I saw that J.K. Rowling had another book that was not necessarily related to the Harry Potter world, I decided to give it a try. Again, this is just, it wasn't doing it for me. I kept saying I'll read it again. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't want it on my bookshelf anymore. And also there's a lot going on with this author. Not my cup of tea. So this has also found a new home. The next books that I'm decluttering are this series. This is the Mortal Instruments series. So these books, let me tell you something about them. It's not that I don't like them. I just feel that my time to read them has already passed. This I will classify as YA, young adult fantasy, and I wish I had gotten these books when I was a teenager, when I was maybe in high school or just starting campus. I'm sure I would have loved and enjoyed them very much, but I got them late. I got them, I think, in 2020, just at the start of the pandemic, and after reading book 1, book 2, it's just too much. That teenage angst, that roller coaster is too much for me. I do not enjoy them. I kept them, I think, because I just thought maybe I would read them, or maybe, I'm not even sure why I kept them, but they've already found a new home. I hope they'll be more appreciated there than my bookshelf. Then we have these James Patterson books. One is NYPD Red and the other is Beach Road. So everyone knows James Patterson. He's a well-known author. He writes well, but I just feel like mystery books are not my type of book that I enjoy. I'd rather watch a mystery show than read a mystery book. So these have also found a new home to go to where they'll hopefully be happy. We also have Patricia Cornwell, same case as James Patterson. That's why I'm not keeping this one. I just feel it will be more appreciated by someone else. I know Michelle collects these books, so this is going to her. We have Fallen by Lauren Kate. I read this series, the entire series, in high school. I loved it. I loved it completely. But then I was thrifting along the streets of Nairobi one day and saw it for a very cheap price and just got it. But the experience is not the same, guys. It's not the same. I don't know if it's just me, but there's some books I read in high school and really loved them. And reading them again as an adult, it's just, the time has passed to enjoy them. That's the case with this. So I think this will be much more appreciated in the new home that it's going to. I really loved the characters though. We have these two, The Diary of an American Au Pair and Emily Ever After. These are nice chick flick sort of reads, contemporary, a bit romantic. I actually enjoyed them, but I just don't think I'll ever read them ever again. So I think they would get somewhere better to be out there and create more space for me to get other books. I have a collection here of books that I just thrifted from what we call the Inama vendors. You know, those vendors in town who just spread the books down there and you have to bend to pick them and choose. This, some of the books I got. I didn't start out buying books at the bookshop all the time. I loved reading and I just had to get books that are accessible to me. And at that time, these were the ones that were accessible to me. And I feel like I wasn't even choosing them more or less based on what I love. I was just choosing them because that's what was available to me. And at the moment, I don't think I will even enjoy them anymore. I've read most of them. I will not reread them again. So I decided to just give them away somewhere where they will be more appreciated. So we have this. This is Death, Taxes, and a Skinny No Whip Latte. This was actually hilarious. I liked this one. I hope whoever gets it next enjoys it. We have this. I genuinely have never read this book for the number of years that it's been on my bookshelf, so I see no use for having it anymore. I have Casey Michaels, M for Mischief. I loved this. It was quite a light, funny read. I enjoyed it, but I don't think I'll read it again, so I'm giving it out. There was this, C. Jane's Core. I also enjoyed this. It's a nice chick flick sort of thing with some romance. It was good. I just don't see myself reading it again. This is one of the ones I never read for the amount of time they were in my bookshelf, so no need to keep it anymore. Same case to this, One Hit Wonder. I've never read it. I'll just give it to someone else who appreciates it. And lastly, we have Prep. This I actually read and enjoyed. I just don't think I'd read it again, so I'm giving it out to someone who will appreciate it. I know a lot of the time when people are doing these giveaways, they tend to sell the books, but I chose not to sell them because, to be sincere, I got all these books extremely cheaply. I think the highest book here was 200 Kenyan shillings. That's the equivalent of around, let's say, $2. So I wouldn't be able to sell them, especially because I've had them for a long time. Some of them, like the classics, I bought them at 100 shillings. So I just decided to just give them away. And I think I'll actually be doing decluttering periodically, just so that I make sure the books that are in my collection are actually books that I value and books that I'm proud to have in the collection. So that's a wrap on the books that I'm giving out. You can let me know in the comments whether you declutter your books or do you hold on to your books completely till the end of time. But that's all for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.